But when I read your profile and I see that you were raised by a great-grandmother who was in witchcraft, in the occult, basically, and your great-grandfather, right? It was your great-grandfather?
My grandfather.
Your grandfather was
Yes.
Muslim.
My grandfather was a
Yes.
Muslim. His name was Abdallah
Abdallah.
Chengo.
Abdallah Chengo.
Yes.
Okay, so I do not want to go over myself, but share with me your story. What was your background like?
Well, raised up by a single mother, but after she gave birth to me, she was in school. She handed me over to my grandmother.
Wait, your mother gave birth to you when she was still in school?
Yes.
What class?
Form 2.
Form 2?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
And then she handed me over to my grandmother. My grandmother's mother, that's my great-grandmother,
Yes.
was a witch doctor. My grandmother's husband was a Muslim. This is the background that I find myself.
Yes.
But by this time, as I grew to discover myself, my grandmother became a Christian. And so she was raising me up. At this point, my mother had cleared school and
Okay.
gone to the city.
So she had handed you over so that she can continue with school?
Yes, and
Okay.
then after school, she went to the city. So
Okay.
the better part of my childhood was with my grandmother in the village.
So how was it then, even before your grandmother became a Christian, means she was also a Muslim, right?
Yeah, but
Oh,
apparently at this point, most of those old men then would have many wives.
Oh, I see.
So he had about 5 wives.
5?
Yes.
Okay.
But my grandmother was the youngest wife. But this time, he didn't live long. When I was still young, he passed on.
Right.
So I'm left in the hands of my grandmother and my great-grandmother, who frequently was with us.
Okay.
After she would go out for her trips to go and do the treatments, the practicing, she would come home.
Okay.
And once in a while, she would share us with us. She would tell us the kind of business she's doing and how it's thriving.
Wow. So what was the business like? Would people come
Yeah,
see
she
her?
see her, and she would go to families, she would go to businesses, she would travel to Arusha, she would travel to Voi, Mombasa, different parts of the country.
Is that so?
She was consulted. She was a consultant.
Which?
You know, they are consultants. Yeah, these ones, they travel, depending with the magnitude of the business.
Okay.
It's actually an enterprise.
Is it? You are educating me right now. I thought it's just someone who sits somewhere in a coven and people come to see them. And
They have their coven, but they travel out, depending with, is it a family?
the demand.
Yes.
So after her trip,
Should-
itinerary.
Yes, she would come by sometimes on our way to our place, but many times she loved to be at our place.
Yes.
Yes.
What-
So this was an exposure at
To
an
that
early,
world.
yeah, at an early age. But praise be to God, at this point, in that, when I'm just beginning to discover myself, my grandmother gives her life to the Lord. She becomes a Christian.
So explain that to me. So when your great-grandmother would come home, what are some of the things she would say or some of the things she
A lot
would
of
do?
stories on the kind of families she's gone to check, or homes or businesses, or towns, and she's done a lot of stuff to people. The business is thriving by art. They would call it treating.
Yes.
Treatment.
Treatment.